So to give you the framework of this national policy, in 2004, the French government initiated competitiveness cluster policy. The objective was really to try to promote innovation, to give or to generate more competitiveness in different economic sectors. So in 2005, there was a national call of tender with the creation of more than 70 clusters. And since then, I will explain what a cluster is exactly, but since then we went through 4 stages. The first one was dedicated to certification process to the our research and development project. And confirmation and reinforcement of the policy was the second phase. And the third phase was dedicated to industrialization and to move from lower TRL to higher TRL. And the last stage that is really now what we are doing is the European ambition, try to move beyond our boundaries in France. So what are we calling a competitiveness cluster? What we are doing is we try to bring together companies, academics, and research institutions on a regional territory. What you see on the right side is the Brittany, the western part of France. This is really important. We believe that we can only address and manage well a cluster if it's on a reasonable size. And we believe that the regional size is the one that needs to be addressed. Our core activity is to develop innovative collaborative projects. So as I said, bringing academia and companies together to develop innovation. And our main goal is really to promote economic growth. So on the last stage, the 4th stage that I mentioned before, there was 56 clusters in France. Only 2 were dedicated to marine and maritime activities, and the other ones were dedicated to other industrial sectors like chemistry, food, or automotive. So basically, where do we stand as a cluster? There is on one side the academia world, let's say, with fundamental and applied research, and on the other side, the socioeconomic world. And as a cluster, we tried really to bridge the gap between these two sectors. So for you to well understand where we stand. So now I'm just going to illustrate what we are really as a cluster and what we do within the French maritime strategy. First, we are based on the western part of France. You can see on the bottom right of the slide that Europe and France, and we are really based on the western part. And as you can see, we are surrounded by sea, and we are really a region that is or that has significant maritime activity. We basically promote innovation in all the maritime area except tourism. I believe we cover probably the whole maritime sectors. So we divided or we organize ourselves within 6 areas. The first one is defense, maritime safety and security. The second one is naval architecture, shipbuilding and yachting. Third one is related to marine energy and mining resources. Marine energy in Europe, especially including offshore wind, is start to be huge, and it also I know it's also a huge sector in Asia. Marine biological resources include fisheries, aquaculture, but also blue biotechnology. Environmental and coastal valorization are also a main topic that we address. And last but not least, port logistics and shipping are also a topic where we try to push innovation. On these topics, as probably most all nations do now, we try to push digitalization and ecological transition. That's where we want to push the innovation. So our membership. So as a cluster, we have members. We call usually our cluster a triple helix cluster because it brings academia, companies, and public authorities or professional organizations. And our membership is constituted by mostly SMEs. 62% of our membership are SMEs, and the rest is split between academics, professional organization, and major groups. And we, since our beginning, we are only chaired by industrial player. This is Thales now, but the years before it was Naval Group, a major boat builder in France. So I talk about the regional anchoring. As I said, it's highly maritime activities, and to give you a figure, we have almost 80,000 private, 60,000 jobs with more than 8,000 private entities working in the maritime sectors on both regions. We have a specificity. We have, like I used to call it, a twin cluster. We have exactly the same entity as us on the Mediterranean side to address the issues and the innovation on the Mediterranean side. So on the southeast part of France, as you say, in the white circle, we are two coordinated cluster as we exchange information every month to make sure that we are going in the same direction, but we are also two independent entities, and together we gather a membership of 900. So what do we do every day? So as I said, we promote innovations. That's our core activity. So we do project management, and we have a process of certification of this project to make sure that they are really mature and they are able to get national or regional or European funding. So to do that, we help our members to do a lot of networkings. We give them expertise through our team that are made from experts on the different topics that I mentioned before. And we support our members to access relevant funding that could be regional, national, or European. One thing that is quite important that we are really well involved in the maritime governance at different levels, regional and national, because you have to see us as a tool to really promote innovation and to, let's say, to tackle the challenge or the direction that the policies wants to go forward. And we have another main activities that is internationalization of our SMEs. We organize overseas mission. We went to South Korea in 2016, for example, but we also went to Brazil, Australia, United States, Canada, and so on. We also host a delegation, and I believe we had the visit of a Korean delegation in 2018. And we also provide services regarding the attendance at international trade shows or access European funding. And we also part, and that might be of interest for you, of a, let's say, a large cluster alliance that's called Blue Tech Cluster Alliance that bring together more than 10 clusters around in the world, including Ireland, France, Spain, Portugal, USA, Brazil, Canada, and so on. And we, through this alliance, we try to exchange opportunities for our members. I talk about the project. So to give you a figure, since 2005, we certified through our process more than 400 projects, and we help our members to secure some public funding. So on the total amount of more than 1 billion euro, we help our members to secure more than 400 million euro of public fundings for the innovation in the maritime sectors. So in conclusion and perspective, it's now more than 15 or 16 years of managing maritime innovation in our regional territory. So what we can or what we achieve is a success rate for funding get public funding for maritime research and development of more than 85% for certified project, which is way higher of the national, let's say, figure for getting public funding, which is about 20%. We put a lot of effort to ensure that there was some transfer knowledge between academia and the industry, which is really good to create new services and products. And more importantly, I think there was a creation of a collaborative maritime community network, which is really important to promote innovation. From what we did from the last 15 years, now we try to more and more to bring some new capacity or capability in our cluster management. And we try to make partnership with incubation partner and also an investment partner, which is really needed to develop and to promote the industry growth. And obviously, we also try to expand our network and to develop international collaborations, and I will be happy to discuss with you. Thank you for your attention.